this story is, this part is, I can't even speak today. But, this video is actually going to be about, strangely enough, actually not really strangely enough, but, this video is actually going to be about one of the bios for the story, another story that I have been working on. And, I have, like, a lot of stories, like, lined up for this kind of thing. I really do. I have a lot of them lined up. And, obviously, I haven't... Well, I've started on it. I haven't actually finished the first chapter of this. It's the same with, Long Lost Friends. I haven't finished the first chapter. I'm still working on it. So, before I, tell you guys anything about the story, first off, I'm actually going to show you this new picture that I have. And, I'm working on another one, so I won't show it yet. Well, I will show it, but I haven't really finished it yet. So, I'm going to show you these two that I have finished. I don't know if I've shown one. I don't know if I've shown this one that I'm about to show. But, if I haven't, you can kind of sort of see. This is Vanessa at the age of 10. And she's got Void Gear, and she's got my Keyblade, Twilight Dawn. And before any of you ask, Twilight Dawn is actually an exact opposite of the Weighted Dawn for Riku. Since my persona is the other half, is Riku's twin. And now this one, yesterday, I can say that, well, it was yesterday or the day before. Actually, it was the day before. And, my persona just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. That's little Vanessa right there. That's little Vanessa. She's got natural white hair. I don't know how she got it. Well, technically, I do know how she got it. Mama has half silver, so she's got pure white. But, the one I'm working on is this one. You can kind of see it, kind of can't. That's Vanitas, and that's little Vanessa. And I'm going to be working on that for a while. I don't know when I'm going to finish, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be doing like another one of those later with another outline. Like, put like Mommy, Daddy, and little Vanessa. So, yeah. But anyway, anyway, pictures aside, I am going to tell you guys about one of the stories that like I said, I have not even finished the first chapter of. I finished the prologue, but not the first chapter. It is My Last Breath. Like, there are, like, a lot of times now where, I'm getting ideas from songs. There are a lot of songs that I'm using. A lot of song titles that I'm using. And I'm using Evanescence's My Last Breath. Because, one of the characters that I have, she actually goes through a very big depression. Very big. And she's not the only one. Anyway, this is just the info for her. I'm gonna be putting in probably a lot more detail for the past, but still. Anyway, and as you can notice, my hair is long. Extensions rule. You can kind of see it, kind of can't. My hair blends in with it. Anyway, for My Last Breath, the name is Sapphire, and she's 16 years old. She likes to sing, draw, and write. Usually most of the characters that I write about usually have some of my likes and they don't have most of my dislikes or anything like that. They don't have a lot, or they are an exact replica of me. And I hope they're not an exact replica. Her dislikes, she hates being bullied. Absolutely hates it. Her crush and best friend is Vanitas. Yes. Her personality, she is dark and suicidal. She, actually has, black hair. She's got, like, the raven hair. It's black and blue. And, she's got sapphire blue eyes. That's how she got her name, Sapphire, was because her mom saw that she had sapphire blue eyes. And she kind of, sort of does resemble her brother. And she, because of her hair being so dark, she actually does resemble her uncle Ericus. So, Anyway, this is her past. Ever since she was in kindergarten, she had been bullied by her classmates, making fun of how she sounded. She always, since kindergarten, had this high-pitched voice, and it would seem like for some reason she can't get rid of it until she got older, and when she started singing more and more, and her voice started actually getting more womanly, more angelic, and then they stopped. But that wasn't the only reason. And the only person that had seen that was Vanitas, and he was in kindergarten with her. She was kind of the lone wolf in her kindergarten class. She was literally the lone wolf. She won't go near anybody. She won't play with anybody, and that's also how the bullying started. She was just on her own, and then all of a sudden, the kids start picking on her, and she didn't like it. I don't like it either, because I've been bullied since I was little, and I hated it, absolutely. Anyway, Vanitas became her very first friend that she ever made in kindergarten, and they would take turns going to each other's houses, playing. Vanitas got to meet her parents, and she got to meet his, and she was very excited to have her very first friend. But 3 years later, it didn't really turn out the way she wanted it to. Here's the thing, when she turned 8, she lost her parents. And it resulted in her cutting herself at an early age. She can say she's not very proud of it. She wasn't. She wasn't very proud of harming herself, and Vanitas wasn't happy with it either. When he saw her scars, he was freaking out about it, and he's telling her, don't do this again, please, promise me don't do this again. And she promised him. But, come to find out, he found out that she was breaking her promises. Because during middle school, it worsened. When she got to 7th grade, I think, she had attempted suicide a surprising 7 times during school. It's like once a month almost kind of thing. And then rumors started spreading around how she was just doing this to get attention, and Vanitas is like sitting in the background thinking, I want to yell at them. She just lost her freaking parents years ago, and you're saying she's doing this for attention. Why the fuck do you care? Sorry for the language, guys. But that is how it is. That is how Vanitas is. He's like, what the fuck? Why even insult her like this? And everyone knew that he can use the Keyblade, and no one knew that Sapphire could. So she always kept that to herself. She didn't want to tell anybody that she knew how to use the Keyblade. Vanitas knew, and his brothers knew. His brothers, Ventus, Sora, and Roxas, they knew that she could use the Keyblade. Riku knew she could use it. Terra knew she could use it, and so could Aqua. And Aqua knew. And Ericus definitely knew. Ericus was the one that trained her. So obviously he would know that she can use a Keyblade. And then she would wind up in the hospital after those 7 times. She would wind up in the hospital for maybe even weeks on end. And she would miss a lot of school, but she would manage to catch up in every class while at home, and she would just complete homework like it was no big deal. Who would teach her? Either Terra or Vanitas. Ericus didn't know. Ericus didn't know what the curriculum was like at school, so he doesn't ask her. He would ask Terra, but he won't ask her. He's kind of frightened because she has like a lot of that darkness in her, and it's kind of starting to get to her a lot. But when she would be in the hospital, Vanitas would visit, along with her older brother Terra and her uncle and guardian Ericus. Terra was the only one to actually pick up when Vanitas is there. He's the only one to pick up that Vanitas liked her, and maybe he can help her through this problem. So, Terra would allow Vanitas to continue seeing Sapphire and make sure that she's okay. To be sure that she's alright. He would make sure of it, even. Because, Ericus doesn't really like Vanitas. And at first, Terra didn't like Vanitas either. but he got used to Vanitas very fast. So that's the way it went. And he would also pick up that Vanitas would be very worried. And also pick up with the fact that Vanitas may be the only one, maybe one of those people to keep her alive. But it's not the way, that's not how it went. But nobody knew what she was going through, that she was going through so much. Not even Vanitas. Vanitas never asked her what was going on. When her parents died, he picked up the fact that she was upset about something. And when he saw those scars, he only knew it could mean one thing. It was her parents. And he did not like the fact that he saw her upset like that. So he decided that after she got out of the hospital, she would stay with him for as long as she needed. And even Tara agreed to it. Ericus was iffy about it because, of course, Ericus is the nutso kind of protector, guardian for her. But he eventually agreed saying, let's let her stay with Vanitas and see how this goes. And during the times that she would come back home, like just to visit or something, if she forgot something, because she would stay there for like a few months. She would stay with Vanitas for a few months. Vanitas was living on his own. Why? I don't know. Ben was old enough to take care of Sora and Roxas, and they're just a year younger than him. And Sora and Roxas are just a year younger than Vanitas. And Ventus, so it was kind of expected, but at the same time it wasn't. But Vanitas had his own house. He actually had to take care of his brothers, but his brothers would be off spending a night with other people, or hanging out with other people until late at night. So, but Vanitas knew that Vanitas kind of had a feeling something was going on, because the same thing's been happening to him. Their mom may have still been alive for Vanitas, Ben, and Sora and Roxas, but their dad was nowhere to be found. And then later finding out on the news that their dad is gone, it wasn't the best thing, especially for Sora. Even though Sora is kind of sort of Mama's boy. I'm sorry, guys. I love Sora, but seriously, this story is strictly on Vanitas. But, yeah. But their school later was having a talent show. And Vanitas knew she could sing. So they decided to do Broken. We all know Broken, like Seether and Amy Lee. He knew she could sound exactly like her. And he can definitely imitate Seether. So they would sing Broken together. And after that, she gained a lot of friends. Vanitas was her only friend throughout school. Since kindergarten, Vanitas was her only friend. And Tara. Considering the fact that her brother is definitely, her only friend. And he would bring over Aqua! Anyway, they had gained friends together. They had gained Sora and Roxas, obviously Vanitas' brothers. He introduced them to her, and it was very much what she didn't expect. She didn't expect to gain friends, but they also gained Shion, Riku, Kairi, Lee, and Ienzo. Yeah. They all were together. They were the biggest group of friends that she had ever thought they would be. And that night, after the talent show, Vanitas and Sapphire went to go sit under the stars. And they had confessed to each other how much they felt for each other. Like, how they felt. Like, if it was like, or if it was love, or anything like that. They confessed. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't exactly a kiss that they had. It didn't happen, that kiss. That first kiss didn't happen. until college. College, they went to, where did they go? Where am I going to say they went? They went to Radiant College, Radiant University. And, yeah, they had to go all the way to Radiant Garden. So, actually, that's where Ericus was teaching. So, they wouldn't see Ericus from time to time. She and Tara would not see Ericus. And until they realized that he was working at the Radiant University in Radiant Garden. So, after college, it was during college that they had their first kiss. Because it was a Valentine's dance that they had, and Vanitas was the one to ask, obviously. It was a boy's choice, not a girl's choice. It was a boy's choice. Girl's choice is Summer, and she would ask him automatically. And actually, Spring Fling is more for them. So it would be girl's choice for Spring Fling, and she would ask him out to the dance. And it was Valentine's dance where he asked her and got her first kiss, gave her her first kiss, and his as well. He never kissed anybody. No matter how much you say he's the bad boy, he never actually had a first kiss before. Never had one. Until then. And after college, after 2 years of Radiant University, they got married. And it was 2 months before they got married that she had gotten pregnant. By accident, though. It was by accident. They didn't expect it to happen, but Vanitas was really happy. So, their first child, they had, were twins. Almost twins. They were almost twins. The first one was Ken. Ken is a mixture of mom and dad, obviously, the mother and the father, a mix of Sapphire and Vanitas. And then a year later, they had Kuro, who is also a mix of them both. But Sapphire was visiting with Tara and Aqua. Well, visiting with Aqua and her nieces, and Sapphire's nieces. Aqua already had a couple kids. Aqua and Tara had a couple kids while they were in college. And, Sapphire said she forgot something at home. So, she was going to be right back. And she and Vanitas lived 10 minutes away from Aqua and Tara. So, she went home. She figured 10 minutes passed, okay, she should be coming back. 20 minutes passed, she's not back yet. I wonder if she got caught up in something. 30 minutes, okay, what's going on? An hour later, she calls up Tara. She's freaking out. She's like, your sister's not back yet. And Tara's just like, don't worry, she'll be back. And Aqua's saying, it's been an hour. Tara, something's wrong with her. Something's wrong. She's not back yet. I'm not feeling her presence anywhere. And when she said that, Tara hung up and rushed to her house. Rushed to hers and Vanitas' house. And rushed inside, and he's calling out to her, Sapphire, Sapphire, where are you? He rushes upstairs, and Sapphire was 9 months pregnant with the third child. She was 9 months pregnant. And what Tara saw almost killed him inside. He had seen his sister hung from the window. Not outside the window, but you know where that curtain rod is? She hung herself there. And not only that, she had a pill bottle in her hands. She couldn't take it anymore. The darkness was really getting to her. And Tara got her down from there. He tried to revive her, and he couldn't, and he's freaking out. He called 911. They got an ambulance over there fast as they could, and rushed her and him to the hospital. He rushed home, grabbed the kids, grabbed Aqua, headed out to the hospital. He didn't know how to break it to Ken and Kuro, but he had to one way or another. So once they got to the hospital, doctors and nurses rushed Sapphire to the emergency room to, one, get that baby out, and two, to see if they can revive her. 2 hours later, they couldn't. They got the baby, and the baby is fine. The baby was fine, but they couldn't revive her. It was during the 2 hours that they were there that Tara had called Vanitas and said, and Vanitas was at work. He worked at a motorcycle shop. And he called Vanitas and said, hey, you might want to get to the hospital real quick now. Like, now. And Vanitas wondering why. And he said, your wife is here. My sister is here. My sister's in the hospital now. And he said, is she having a baby? Is she having the baby right now? And Tara said, they got the baby out. But there's something else that you need to know. And it was when he said that Vanitas, apparently now, those two have been hanging out so many times that they now can read each other. So Vanitas hung up immediately, told his boss that he was heading to the hospital because his wife is in there. His wife is in the emergency room. And his boss was like, wait, hold on. And Vanitas wouldn't give him the time of day, and he just rushed out of there to the hospital, only to find out that Tara and Aqua were crying. His nieces were crying. His sons were crying too. And he looked at them, wondering, well, what happened? What's going on? And Tara had to take Vanitas outside because in fear of Vanitas releasing his darkness inside the hospital would cause everyone to freak out. So Tara took him outside and said, hey, listen, I'm sorry to say this, but the doctor just told us she didn't make it. And Tara was telling him how she had killed herself at the house. And Vanitas, you can literally probably just imagine him wide-eyed, mouth gaped open. And then all of a sudden he grabs his head and he's screaming bloody murder over the fact that he knew his wife was going through tough times, but he didn't expect it to happen. He didn't expect it to happen because she told him that she would promise him not to do this kind of thing again. But she did it. But he knew it wasn't her fault. It was the demons, the darkness in her, that was telling her to do it. And he literally knew it wasn't her fault. I wouldn't blame her either. I would just blame the darkness that was controlling her. And I still have darkness in me that controls me from time to time like that. But it's not going to get to me anymore. But it got to Sapphire. Apparently what the doctors had said, she had gone through a great deal of depression. It was literally so huge, I don't think anyone would be able to pull her out. And she had committed suicide. Which is why this story is called My Last Breath. It's actually going to be taken from time to time from the years in school. It's going to be short yet long. It's only going to be a few chapters maybe. I'm only going through kindergarten. I'm not going to go through each grade. Because if I do, that's going to take a while for me to write. And I won't have that many things to write about. So, what Vanitas did was once he saw their daughter, he took the liberty, when he saw her open her eyes, he saw those sapphire blue eyes. And he named her Sapphire. Named her after her mother. And since that day, Vanitas really hadn't been the same. He swore to himself he will not love again. Because he lost his only love. And he will handle being an only father. He will handle being a single dad. He can handle it because Sapphire is not much of a problem. He can protect her, and her brothers can protect her too. Because her brothers, well, even though they like to pick on her, they're family. They're brothers. She loves them, and he loves them too. so it's the why not kind of stage. It's just like that. But, yeah. Anyway, phone's ringing, and I don't feel like getting it. But, Sapphire did leave something for her daughter. She knew she was having a girl. She had that feeling in her gut, even though she wanted it to be a surprise. She had a gut feeling that it was going to be a little girl. So, Vanitas went back home, and he saw a note saying, if you've read this, I probably have already committed suicide. I am sorry, Vanitas. I do love you. I really do. I didn't expect this to happen either. Trust me. But, I leave you this. And I had this gut feeling it was going to be a little girl that we're going to have. And, she left her... Well, she left Vanitas she left Vanitas a little necklace. Nobody knows what. It was actually I do know what, since I'm the one writing it. It was a little heart. A little golden heart. And she said to give it to Sapphire when she is 5 years old. Tell her about me if she asks. If she asks what I look like, just say, you look like her. Or she looks like you. Just a lot older, obviously. So, that's the note that she left Vanitas in order for him to tell Sapphire. Tell their little daughter Sapphire. Ken and Kudo will be the ones to protect her during school. They'll be the ones to walk her to school and everything. And not only that, their cousins are going to be in charge of her too. So, not really that hard to lose family. It won't be that hard to lose family. I know, because I've lost family myself. Not that hard to lose them in your heart. Not that hard to lose them in your head either. Anyway, that's it. So, I'm going to sign off for now. I have other bios that I have to look into to reading out. So, I will see you guys in the next video for another bio. Whenever that video is going to be. So, later, taters!